Where to begin? Where to begin? Where to begin? Coffee. One sec. All right, let's do the official start. Now, what's up guys? My name is Ranger Liz and welcome to the HyperForce chat about episode 19. There are only 25 episodes. Wow, only 6 episodes left. Where's the time gone? Seriously, HyperForce last night was just, I was shooketh. It was insane. And I know at this point you're like, wow, Liz, we're like a minute into this and you haven't said anything about the episode. Let's just start with how they ended up in the Shattered Grid. They got a beacon. They got a beacon just like, you know, they get other beacons. It was a big thing of evil energy. And they went to track it. They thought maybe it went through a hyperstream. Weren't really sure, but they just went. You know, they just went with it. It was nuts seeing whenever they opened up on the on all the players and seeing Kyle Higgins and Malika sitting there with them. I'm just like, this is gonna be amazing. Looking at Malika's face when Zach was GMing was just, it was great because Malika made this system, you know, HyperForce is her baby. And I'm sure it's got to be weird from her standpoint having someone else GM this game that she normally does. Zach's alpha impression when he first did it, it was amazing. There's so many, for all of the amazing things that happened in the episode via plot and acting and everything else, some of the best moments were just having it done in a completely different way where there's 2 extra characters. So Yoshi was not in it, so no, he was not in it. But we have Malika and Kyle were like sandwiched between Eddie and Jack, and then they had the 2 characters in between them. At one point, Zach, you know, he's trying to get things started, and he's all GMing, and well, Chloe's being Chloe and Vesper's being Vesper, and at one point Chloe, you know, says something really random and Zach's like, why are you like this? I just thought it was hilarious because they're all like, what is this, mushy, sentimental? Like the other side characters were giving them a lot of crap because HyperForce has, you know, it has the sidebars, it has the sappier moments, the character development, and to have just, you know, Zach playing and Malika and Kyle playing these authoritarian type roles that are like, okay, enough, let's go. Like, come on, enough sappiness. We're moving out. It was just neat because they're just trying to fit in. Marv's like, you know, Vesper, I know, well, there was something, and I guess I should at least mention it briefly, that Vesper and Marv had a heart-to-heart, at least as much as they would let them talk, having a heart-to-heart. That, you know, Marv is trying to explain to Vesper that, you know, I used to be the same way. I used to, you know, run in. He's been noticing that she's very, just launches herself into battle without necessarily informing the others or caring at all about her safety, which turns into Marv telling her, you know, I used to be like that, but now, you know, you have family. Marv didn't think, you know, he had anything really going for him, but now the HyperForce is a family, and, you know, Joe's there, and Vesper's at least somewhat making amends with her parents. She, I'm not going to say agrees, but she at least listens to him and will potentially take that to heart. See, Vesper got attacked at one point and Eddie was like, I'm gonna kill that one. And Marv had already gotten to it just in the way of the centuries and with the battles. So that was that about it as far as, I mean, main character moments? It was very, very plot heavy. And with so many characters, there wasn't, and I agree that there wasn't a ton of time for a lot of these side bars, I guess, between, you know, one-on-one character interactions with so many things with this story that they're not done with it. Guys, they're not done. They're going back next week. They're going back next week, and they made a really big announcement as to what's going on next week that I haven't even gotten to yet. I was gonna do it at the end, but they're going back there next week, and a very special person will be a guest. We'll be having another guest, if you hadn't heard yet, who's gonna be, so stay tuned and I will tell you at the end. The big thing is that they go to the shattered grid. They land basically in the first thing they see is the Mastodon sentries. The sentries in the books, if you're not familiar with the Boom Studios books, first off, please become familiar with them because they're really good. But second off, if you don't know, Draken uses some force from a leftover power coin and spreads it out, and so the sentries are basically it's a take on the Mastodon outfit, but it's much more uniform, militaristic, I guess I should say. And they also had them for the saber-toothed tiger ones. So when the Rangers first show up, they see these Mastodon sentries, and Chloe, being the stealthy one, goes in. She's like, they look like Rangers, but I'm not sure it's good. This doesn't look right. Like, they kind of look like Rangers, but something isn't right here. They asked Alpha, and Alpha's like, I can't sense the morphing grid on them. I can't talk to the morphing grid at all. Something is wrong, guys. Something is very, very wrong. They end up going down to investigate and realize they are in New Tech City, but not the New Tech City they know. They were just there, remember, in the SPD universe, which was great because Eddie was like, we can't do anything wrong. I can't talk to Doggy Kruger again. I can't be interrogated again, which was, it's just a nice throwback to whenever they were in the SPD thing, and Eddie cracked like a Fabergé egg. It was a great bit as far as the show goes, hearing him just blah, everything that is happening. Not great for the Rangers, but great for the storytelling from our point of view. Pokeball coffee. Nothing like Pokemon coffee. So let's make sure I start getting some things in the actual order for the rest of it. So I'll be bringing up my notes while they do this. They eventually do, they will run into Detective Song. Well, they know Detective Song, but this is not the Detective Song that we know and love. This is in fact Detective Song, maybe slightly a few years older, and looks pretty much exactly like her because it's Malika, and she fashioned Detective Song after her sister, who she looks like. So Kyle Higgins, we learn he is playing Captain Michael Hicks. Used to be in Zach Taylor's unit. Then there was also a small dude kind of wearing cameo, which is Fidget, which is his scout. And then there was Major Galushi. You should see my notes on how bad I tried to spell. Yeah, so when Chloe sneaks down and she sees these black Mastodon sentries, she's like, they aren't real Rangers, guys. They have guns. Like, they have legit guns. At this point, Captain Hicks basically just starts telling them the story. And this is where, in the episode, if you weren't really familiar at all with the Boom Studio stuff, where you would have gotten caught up, because he starts talking about the Lord Draken arc, and how in this timeline where they are in New Tech City, there had been a few months ago, Rangers came from another universe, which is Billy and Tommy, which is, again, the Lord Draken arc. They had a giant wave go out. No one had seen Draken since, but they know that he's kind of there. Like, they know he's still alive. Colonel Hicks finds these guys, and they're all kind of gonna go together. They're gonna partner up, the Rangers, Colonel Hicks, Detective Song, and they try to explain to them, like, look, guys, we're not from here. Like, we're not from this dimension. Like, we know you, Detective Song, but you're not, we know a different version of you, which was very interesting. So they're also getting caught up, and they learn that basically, so Lord Draken, Lord Zed, they just wanted to rule people, but to be ruler, you have to have people to rule over. And they were okay with it. Scorpina, however, just destroyed everything. She just likes destroying. Imagine, like, Gurr from Invader Zim. I love destroying! It's a really terrible Gurr impression. Sorry about that. Scorpina, you know what she wants to do? She wants to take control of the Great Destroyer. Now, the Great Destroyer, we find out later, is at least, at this point, I'll be honest, guys, I was getting a little confused as to what exactly was going on. So I'm really thankful that they stopped, and it was Eddie was like, let me get this straight before they go forward. So Galushi, the privates, are going underground. They're going to come up above the prison. That's what this whole structure is actually a prison where a lot of people in that area are being held captive. Just normal civilians, people in it. So we have these people that are going to dig under, or they've already dug under. They're going to come up in the prison, get the prisoners, come back out, try to flee. It's the Rangers' job to make a distraction and to basically keep it safe for them to do so. Marv, Chloe, and Jack are going to be attacking while the rest are going to go check out Scorpina's plans. Scorpina's plans. Great Destroyer. We find out, and I'm just going to go ahead and get that out. It's Scorpina. The Great Destroyer, the thing, her Scorpina's great thing is to go, and she wants to get Scorpina. She wants to get Serpentera. Serpentera, guys, it was destroyed, but wasn't actually destroyed until, like, Forever Red, which was in Wild Force, which means if they're going back, and this is all an MMPR, in theory, Scorpentina is there. I think I'm trying to combine Scorpina and Serpentina, so I'm just going to call it, like, Scorpentina. And if I say that, just know what I'm talking about. So they start attacking. They need a giant distraction, and the Rangers do it. Between Eddie taking out multiple sentries with his serpent strike, I can't remember exactly what it's called. But at one point he gets all of this water and he strikes it like Moses and just yells, "Let my Rangers go." Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. It was great. Anyway, we got, like, they're all using their axes. They're being taken on during this distraction. 50, 100 Sentinels. I mean, these guys just keep pouring out. And it's, imagine, like, Legendary War status of this. And these Rangers are just throwing everything they can out. Joe ends up calling on his Zord so he can get the lion just, like, lands on some of these guys. And just fire, blaze, trying to take everything out. And before, when they were still trying to be somewhat sneaky, you know, they went in, but they easily, I remember, I think it was like Jack rolled terrible, and they found them. They were going to try to get further in, mind you, before this extreme battle started, but they didn't make it. So, most of the lights and everything around, Chloe did manage to shoot out 2 of the lights that were closest to us, but it was still, I mean, there's like 10 towers and at least 2 guards per tower. There's a lot. And then they're just rushing out of the prison also. So keep in mind, this is just a lot of baddies. I don't think we ever really found out what these Sentinels look like under the helmet, but we got some anger, some craziness. Captain Hicks was like ripping a helmet off of one and like throwing the helmet at the other sentries. He was, well, we learned that some Ranger moves cauterize the wound as they go through, so, you know, there's no blood, and no one dies, they all just pass out. Because it was getting a little violent, and, you know, Power Rangers, no one dies there. We are at Eddie and the captain start running up the stairs to try to make it into the prison. Vesper goes to the corner where she notices, like, files, computers. She notices the files on the computer. She's like an android, of course she does. So she's going there and she's like, I'm gonna get all of the data I can. They patch a song to Zach Taylor, who is in, remember, he's in this world as someone who's trying to help with the resistance. Basically tells him, yeah, it's Scorpina. So while song is being patched through with all of this, I'm like, oh yeah, and he's with Captain Hicks. What do you mean, Captain Hicks? So, you know, text songs like, Captain Hicks, you know, is here helping us out. You know, that's not Michael Hicks. What do you mean? He disappeared over a month ago. No one's heard from him since. This is at the point where we all go, huh, oh, pause. And Captain Hicks. A voice starts coming out of his body. It seems like it's transmitting. Well, it appears you've given me valuable information. I have no blah, blah, blah. It turns into a rap. Pumpkin Rapper. Pumpkin Rapper. Oh, yeah, that Pumpkin Rapper. The one from Mighty Morphin. Kyle Higgins, you see, has a unhealthy thing. He really likes the Pumpkin Rapper. And, well, he came back in one of Lord Zed's thing and was never seen being destroyed. It's the Pumpkin Rapper. Ranger Danger podcast, is what he does with, they helped him write all these raps, because Pumpkin Rapper had to rap. And yes, there were raps. So Eddie raps back. It's like we get this like epic rap battle, not copyrighted epic rap battles, but an epic rap battle of Pumpkin Wrapper and Eddie going back and forth. So they'll battle him, you know, so that turns into the big bad, and he decides, and by he I mean, I don't know, Pumpkin Wrapper, the thing in the rules, he decides to become big. So he becomes big, and the look on the look on Zach's face, I don't know if he necessarily was, I don't think that was planned. I don't think that was in the grand scheme of things that were going to be going on in the episode, but he becomes big. Jack, you know, gotta love Jack being the police officer, is like, we gotta get all of these civilians out, so he's trying to evacuate civilians. Eddie gets a whole bunch of civilians, and he puts them on, like, the back of his serpent sword. In the midst of all of this, so there's kind of a battle going on. They're trying to evacuate the civilians. Pumpkin Wrapper self-destructs. There was no battle that, you know, the Rangers made him explode. It was just him self-destructing. And wow, you want to talk about going from an episode that was just, hey, ha, 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 to it got quiet real fast. His self-destruct took out, you know, the Rangers who were morphed ended up becoming unmorphed. The Rangers who were in Zords took quite a bit of damage. The Zords took a lot of damage. But unfortunately, all of those civilians and sentries that were on top of the Zords that were still trying to escape disintegrated. Gone. I don't know in the Power Ranger verse how they're gonna say they were just destroyed, or maybe they were teleported, but yeah, Pumpkin Wrapper self-destructed and took out a lot of civilians with him, and that was, I mean, you knew the severity of Shattered Grid. You knew how bad it was, or how bad it could be. But there is something about, I mean, this is Kyle Higgins' world, the Shattered Grid. And to be like, oh, the stakes are high. The stakes are higher than they've ever been before, I guess, for the Rangers. It was a very quick quietness fell over everyone. After that, everyone is disoriented. You know, the Rangers trying to stand up, figure out what's going on. Then appears a figure in all white, just yelling, "Enough!" It's Lord Draken. Lord Draken's here. Hey! And that's where the episode ended. So next week we have another one, guys. If you just watch this and you didn't get to watch it live, and you're catch up, please. You can watch it on YouTube on Tuesday before it comes out. Get yourself all caught up for this madness. The fact that this is a 2-part episode. Malika will be sitting on the thing again. Zach will be GMing, whatever. He'll be doing that next episode as well. They're staying in the Shattered Grid. They're going to see Lord Draken. Now, mind you, it is the 14th today. So it'll be the 20th, whenever they're doing the Shattered Grid. March 28th is when the Shattered Grid officially starts in the comic books, and that will be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 25. So if you are loving this story so far, the level of it, the characters, the espionage, and the danger, if you are digging this, go give some love to Boom Comics. The comics are top notch. They really, really are. So go give them some love, and if you're enjoying where all the story is, you'll still have a week after next episode to get caught up before Shattered Grid starts in the comics. Wow, this was a bit long, but was there any other way? I don't want to say like they're gonna fight Lord Draken in the next episode, because maybe he will be there, smash him up against a wall or something, call in some troops, and then leave after he has enough, like all good baddies, you know. And I mean, Lord Draken's still going to be going on, so, you know, if the HyperForce Rangers fight him, you know they can't defeat him. I wouldn't mind having them, like, have the crap beat out of them by Lord Draken. I mean, sorry, HyperForce Rangers. I love you, and I hope you all survive. Oh, and nobody died. Well, no Rangers. No Rangers died in the last episode. Alright, that's it. That means I need to get going on this. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the HyperForce chat. My coffee's cold, but what do you do? What do you do? Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate, you know, I see on Twitter people are like, oh, I like Ranger Liz's reviews. Believe me, it means more to me than you will ever know when I see people suggest to watch my content because they like it. It's an amazing feeling that it's hard to describe, but thank you guys so much for it. My name is Ranger Liz. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next week at the HyperForce chat. They're all gonna die. I will see you next time, Ranger Nation.